Welcome back to 80 Vlogs. I know I did say that I was actually going to take a while before I posted again, but actually interesting news has actually come up again and I just had to post about it because I really think that this is actually going to help you guys out when it comes to scaling or starting your clothing brand. What I'm actually going to talk about today is actually something that has to do with AI, artificial intelligence, and the one that we're actually going to focus on today is GPT. GPT is actually sort of like a bot chat website where you actually go in and ask it whatever things you may want to know about, and it can actually show you the results. Today we're actually going to explore how it can actually help us when it comes to starting or scaling a clothing brand. GPT is actually owned by a company called OpenAI, which Microsoft actually funded a lot of money into, scaling up this GPT AI thing and actually getting it to the point where it is today, where it actually has over 100 million users, which is actually incredible because it only started last year, I think around November, which is crazy. We just barely started 2023. There's actually also a war going on between these two mega giant companies. I'm actually talking about Google and Microsoft as well. Even though they're actually squabbling and trying to be the best when it comes to this AI thing, we the consumers will actually get the best of the best. It doesn't matter who actually wins. But today I'm actually just interested in showing you how it can really help when you are starting out a clothing brand or trying to scale your clothing brand. What I'm actually talking about right now is if you're actually trying to start a clothing brand but you have no idea where to start, you have no idea what you can even name your clothing brand, you have no idea what the clothing brand is actually going to stand for, you have no idea for a logo, all you know is that you're really just ambitious and you're trying to maybe start up a business of some sort, and maybe you're really passionate about fashion and stuff like that, but you're just barely have an idea of where to start. This is something that can actually potentially help you a lot when it comes to that. First things first, that we're actually going to do, we're just going to go right ahead on Google and just search up GPT. Obviously there's going to be a lot of different search results that you're actually going to get. Once you get in the website, as you can see, the website is really colorful and stuff like that, different fonts. It's really dope. And what you want to do is right here is actually want to go and sign up, register for you to be able to actually use this GPT. Be advised that once you do actually go into this website, you may actually be faced with difficulties such as them telling you that right now GPT is at full capacity and a lot of people are using it, because actually a lot of people are really using GPT right now. As I said, it has over 100 million users right now, so it's actually crazy in just a short time period. So it really shows you where artificial intelligence is really headed this year and more years to come. A lot of things are still going to happen. Once you are in, all you need to do is just start up a new chat now, which is all about starting a clothing brand and actually trying to see what you can actually ask ChatGPT for it to actually help you out when it comes to stuff like that. So as you can see right here, I did actually ask ChatGPT a few number of questions that I wanted to know pertaining how you can start a clothing brand, advertising and all that stuff. I just wanted to see if I was actually an actual beginner, and I gotta say, man, these answers were actually really dope. Let's just get right into the first question that I actually asked ChatGPT, and we're actually going to look at the answers it actually gave back. So the first thing I decided to ask ChatGPT right here was actually a really simple question, because I just wanted to see how accurate or how helpful it was actually going to be with the answers. So my first question right here was actually, what are some cool, meaningful names for a clothing brand? And as you can see right here, it gave me a list of about 10 different names, which were actually really cool, but I actually came up with 2 names that I actually liked from this list. Now the first one is actually going to be Threads of Purpose. I really like that one, and also Threaded Treasures. These 2 right here were actually really dope. I think if you're actually trying to start up some type of clothing brand which is actually really meaningful, these 2 right here would actually be my 2 top choices just from this list right here after asking ChatGPT. Right after this, I actually also asked ChatGPT about some of the cool names for a streetwear clothing brand, and actually it also did give me a list that you can actually check out right here. So as you can see right here, I asked ChatGPT to actually suggest some names for an actual streetwear brand. It actually gave me a whole list of options right here. What I actually like from this list is street savvy, concrete chic, and pavement apparel. Now these names are actually really cool names if you're actually trying to find out what sort of like a name you can actually go for your streetwear brand. Now actually you don't actually have to just ask some of the questions that only I asked. You can actually be creative about it and actually really be specific about the type of names you actually are looking for. ChatGPT is actually going to help you out with those type of suggestions, and that's actually the cool thing about it. You don't actually have to take these answers at face value. You can actually change and tweak them to your own preference. Now the other cool thing about ChatGPT is if you actually already have a name for your own brand, but you still haven't figured out the mission for your brand, you haven't figured out what your brand actually stands for and all that type of stuff, you can actually go into ChatGPT and actually try to figure out the mission for your brand. So as you can see right here, I actually asked ChatGPT what a brand called Street Savvy would actually be all about, and as you can see right here, it actually gave me a really detailed answer about what Street Savvy could actually be all about. This can actually help me actually try to figure out the mission behind my brand and what my brand is actually all about, as well as try to figure out what the name actually stands for, because this would actually help me create a whole theme around my brand. This would actually help me create a whole theme around my designs as well. So let's just go through what actually ChatGPT says a brand called Street Savvy could actually be all about. And now as you can see right here, ChatGPT actually says that a brand that's actually called Street Savvy could be all about urban streetwear fashion that incorporates all the latest trends and style influences from city streets around the world. The brand could cater to young fashion conscious consumers who want to express their individuality and stay ahead of the curve when it comes to what's cool around and on trend. It also helps you out figure out what type of customers would actually be interested in such a brand called Street Savvy. As you can see right here, it actually helps you figure out that you're actually going to be concentrated a lot more on the young crowd. You are very fashion savvy and are always checking out on what's on trend. As we continue right here, not only does ChatGPT offer you the type of customer base that you should be looking for, but it also goes into telling you what sort of products you can release and all that type of stuff. Let me just read it out for you right here. It actually says, in terms of the products offered, Streetwear Savvy could offer a range of casual and athletic wear that combines comfort, functionality, and style. This could include items such as graphic tees, joggers, hoodies, sneakers, and accessories like hats and backpacks. The brand could also feature collaborations with streetwear artists, photographers, and other creatives to offer unique limited edition pieces that appeal to fans of street culture. Now as you can see right here, not only does it tell you the sort of like the pieces that you can actually offer to your customers, it also tells you how you can actually improve your brand marketing by actually collaborating with other different artists as well. So this is really dope, guys. This is really, such a knowledgeable little chatbot right here that actually helps you and saves you time, because if you're actually trying to figure this out by constantly paging through Google, it may actually take you a really long time and it may actually frustrate you, and all that passion and motivation that you had for starting a clothing brand could die out really quickly because you're not actually finding the type of information that you want. It also helps out if you're actually trying to figure out the type of design you're actually going to do for your own logo. Now let's just go right over here and actually ask ChatGPT to actually help us if we are actually trying to design a logo. Now as you can see right here, I actually went back to ChatGPT. This time around, I actually just want to ask ChatGPT to actually help me out design a logo for a brand called Street Savvy. Now actually what I did right here is I didn't even bother to actually ask a direct question. I just said a logo for a brand called Street Savvy, and ChatGPT was actually smart enough to actually figure out what I wanted, and it actually gave me some suggestions right here to go about doing if I actually want to design a logo called Street Savvy. Now what I would actually suggest for you to do right here, if you're not actually really familiar with applications such as Photoshop or Illustrator, is for you to actually find out a really good local graphic designer, or you can actually go to a website called Fiverr and actually find somebody who is a really good graphic designer to actually help you out when it comes to the sort of design that you actually want. You can actually take all these suggestions that you actually get from ChatGPT and just send them to a really good graphic designer and actually see what they actually come up with. Or you can actually just take it upon yourself and actually just design your own logo, even if you got the name right here from ChatGPT. Now it actually says that a logo for a brand called Street Savvy could feature a bold, urban inspired design that reflects the edgy street style fashion the brand represents. And right here you can actually see some of the ideas it actually says we could actually consider. Now the first one right here is actually a stylized cityscape. A logo featuring a silhouette of a cityscape could actually be a great way to represent the urban vibe of the brand. The design could feature iconic cityscape elements like tall buildings, bridges, and neon lights. The second one is the bold typography. A logo featuring the brand name in bold, graffiti-inspired lettering could be a good choice. The typography could feature a mix of thick and thin lines along with stylized letterforms that reflect the energy and creativity of city streets. This one right here is actually also dope. There are a lot of suggestions that it actually gave us right here. I'm actually not going to go through them all, but this is just to show you how really great ChatGPT is. I also did ask ChatGPT about the different types of marketing you can actually do if you are a startup for a clothing brand and stuff like that. So I also asked ChatGPT about the different types of marketing methods you can actually use to actually boost your clothing brand business, either if you're actually just starting out or if you're actually just trying to scale. And a lot of information that it actually gave out I've already mentioned in so many numerous videos right here on this channel. And also one thing that I actually forgot to ask ChatGPT about is if you're actually trying to figure out the type of colors you can actually use for your brand, you can just ask ChatGPT what type of colors a brand called Street Savvy could actually use, and it could actually give you a lot of suggestions, I'm pretty sure, about the type of colors you can actually associate your brand with, which is really helpful when it comes to creating a really solid brand image for your brand. So yeah guys, I really suggest you guys go ahead and check out ChatGPT. It's really been trending. Everybody's been talking about ChatGPT lately. So if you haven't really heard about it or come across such videos, I really suggest that you actually try to stay updated when it comes to such things that can actually always be helpful to you and your type of business that you are in. I recently saw a video about somebody actually coding a whole web page just using ChatGPT, just asking questions and getting code in return. So yeah man, this thing right here is really powerful and it's really useful. I really actually hope that you actually go over there and actually just see for yourself how really helpful and just how much it's actually going to change the game for a lot of people out there. So like I said man, just go over to Google, type ChatGPT, and yeah man, get all the help you need when it comes to starting a clothing brand and stuff like that. Anyway, do not forget to like and subscribe, and as you know, I'll be back with another banger. Peace.